Hello everyone, OkFixer here, back with the 67 Beetle. Wanted to show you some things I did. I sorted out my wiring a little bit, tucked everything up. I now have a wire for my dash cam that's run up through where the dome light is. Wrapped all my wires with some spot ties. I've also got changed that out so that my radio isn't on all the time. It's only storing the proper way is what I'm telling you. Had a little problem, and disconnected this and plugged it back in, and when I did, you can see that move, and you can see this one move. And what that did is it broke the solder within the box, and and so I'm going to have to solder that back together in order to make that work. And so I took this and this piece over to my friend's house, who is an electrician, and he does radios and such like that, amplifiers mostly. And he opened that up and he says, well, this electrolytic in there is chooched. And I says, you got another one? He says, not like that, but I have one the same reading. And over to his place, we changed it out. If you have someone, now realize that this guy's a businessman, okay? But if you ask him, he might let you use his tools as long as he doesn't have to do the labor. And so he did, and let me use his stand, and I pulled that cap out of there. I wish I would have videoed it, but I didn't. And that works now. And I didn't even tell him about this. So since that works, you know, nah, I'm not even going to fix that. But anyways, so I tucked those all in there, and essentially I've got only the wires that are supposed to be coming down the cable for the gas gauge and the solvent for the washer squirters, the lights and the turn signals and such, speedometer cable, because I have made these pieces here. Now, I cut these out of plywood, and I used this to cover it with. Now it says chalkboard fabric, but it looks like flat black vinyl. And then I just brushed some of that on there and wrapped it around it. It's not perfect. It's got problems right in the corners and stuff like that, but you'll never see anything like that once it's tucked in there. And I'd love to put these in. I'm going to put this one in and show you how it fits. I love to put these in, but that's right, Abner pulled these out and sold them on eBay or whatever. So it's been 6 weeks that I've been trying to find somebody that has them, and finally I found somebody that has these little flaps, and they have a little wire that's attached to the flap and a little black cable gizmo, and all this fits to it. I think it all fits to it somehow. Yeah, because it's got this kind of goes down actually. It's got like a tube. It's got to go in there. I have to make new tubes, but I have to have those pieces first. So I can't put this thing back together until I get those pieces. It's just maddening because the parts on this car that are missing, it's just so silly. It's like if he had the time, I think he would have drilled out the spot welds on the individual panels for the body, and sold the panels, or took the car apart that far. I don't know. So okay, let's get this piece in here and I'll show you. There you go. That's not too bad. I know it's a little gappy over there. What are you going to do? Covers the wires up pretty nicely and trims everything out. There'll be another piece of material that covers here. You can buy the original one. I will. And should be able to make that work all right. There is a piece that you can buy for this. However, if if I was to buy it, I would have to make a big cut out of it in order to facilitate my glove box. So, you know, I mean, it's like $84 for that piece. So making my own is a little bit better deal. Back to this. I'm really disappointed with this. You know, I've unplugged and plugged the original one in 47 times. And you unplug and plug this one in twice, and it's broken. That's too bad. It's too bad. Look at that. Yeah. Oh well, okay. Next that we're going to look at, we're going to start at, and that's the feature of this video, is the headliner. So let's have a look at it. Alright, the next thing that we're going to work on is the headliner. And these products all come from Wolfsburg West. So let's have a look at them. First oh, and I want to tell you something first before we start. This car here, Abner, instead of leaving the headliner in it as reference points, he ripped it all out and then, you know, whatever, sold the parts on eBay. Take pictures or whatever, because I don't know how this thing goes in there. I did one back about 50 years ago, you know. I bought it from J.C. Whitney for $69, you know. So that tell you, and I guess I got it in there all right. So I don't know. I don't remember any of this though. So incidentally, I bought some instructions for $1 also. So I don't know if it matters. That must be for foam. It's kind of nice. Looks like it's all cut. Correct thicknesses and such. Yeah. And I guess this would go along the roof. Yeah, it says roof piece. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. Alright, I know what that is now. Here's the bows that go to it. So, I have 6. I don't know how many came out of it, so I bought 6. Don't think there's more than 6. And I bought some, these headliner caps. So, set of 14. Does that mean there's 7 bows? If there is, I'm missing one. And spring clips. So here it is, spring clip 64 to 77. Sunroof headliner rod, spring clips. Maybe I don't even need these. Maybe those are for the sunroof. I bought a off-white, because we're doing our car in off-white. So let's have a look at this. That's pretty nice right there. Looks like all the pieces. Needed. It's pretty nice. Looks like the side pieces. Got some instructions here. Product warranty. No instructions. I bought the instructions for $1. I wonder where they went to. Okay, well, let's look for those instructions. I'm excited. I wonder how many bows. 1, 2, 2 bows. 1, 2, let's see here. 3, 4, 5. 5. Looks like 5. Shouldn't be too hard. I think what we're going to do is we're going to work as roofers and work from the bottom up. So the side pieces and such will all go on before the actual headliner will go on. Let me find those instructions and see what they say. Well, after much looking, I did find the instructions, but they were a joke. They were like technical instructions from a manual, which, I don't know, it sort of gives you a little bit of an idea. But as far as really giving you an idea how this thing goes together, it doesn't. So I'm going to first start by putting these pad pieces in here, because logic dictates that they go under the sunroof or under the headliner. I'm going to use my cement, and I'm going to start with the big piece first and get it up there. So this ought to be fun. Don't try this at home, kiddies. Okay, at $12 a can, strike that, $14 a quart. It took me a half a quart to put this piece up. So this is going to be pricey. Okay, it wasn't easy. So essentially what I did is I marked the center of this piece of material, and of course you know where the center of that is, because that's where the screws for the rear view mirror go. And so I coated the inside with my brush. Not a lot, but enough to make it good and sticky, like painting it. Same with the other side of this material. And then I got up and I turned around and stuck it over my head, this whole thing, because the glue isn't going through. And then I lined this up and stuck this, and then it took me several attempts to get it close. And so I'm happy with that. So on to the next pieces are going to be the foam pieces. So let's figure this out. Foam next. Okay, I'm going to put these pieces in next, and I'm going to butt them right up against this. There seems to be quite a bit left over. I'm going to cut it so it's not interfering with the pinch weld. The headliner can wrap around, but I'm not going to take the foam with it around the pinch weld, because that'll wad it up too deep for the window to fit in there, for the rubber to fit in. Here's what frustrates me about this, is this says there's two pieces, right? See, two pieces. Okay, there's the other piece, there's that one. What the hell are these for? So there's 4 pieces in this kit. So here's the deal. If you didn't know, or like me, I don't know, are they supposed to stack up? I'm not going to stack them up because it just says 2 pieces. So I'm just going to put 2 pieces in there, and I'm going to assume that they put too many in there. Don't know. Okay, come on. Hello? Are you in there? There you go. What I did is I took my, there it is. I took my putty knife and I poked up in there, kind of folded this over. This one I took back down and tore it all up, and so I have, have 2 others. So I did this one this way also, poked, kind of turned it over there. This, down this side, I had to cut with a razor blade. And then we put our lower section on. I just got to kind of mate it now, because you kind of brush this glue on and then let it dry a little bit. It's contact adhesive, and then fold it over. Okay, the next pieces I'm going to put on are these corners. So I've got these glued up, and I think when I looked at this first, it was way too long. I don't know. I think before I put those up there, I need to look at these longer pieces and this, because if I put it, let's have a look at that here. So hold on just a second. Okay, then I put this piece on after I put that piece on, and I've come to the realization that these all have to be cut. There's two long pieces, there's a wide long piece, and there is, these are probably the same, aren't they? You'll make a liar out of me, aren't you? Maybe they're both the same width, but one of them's shorter than the other. Them are the same. Let's try this one now. Sorry, the glue's got to me. Okay, that's a long one. So there's a long one, and the long one is going to go along the top here, and I'm going to stuff that down in, and then when it comes to here, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to cut it like that, so these are exposed so my deal can hook in there. That makes sense. And I think that'll be correct. The skinny one's going to go down here, and of course you'll have to cut it. Sorry about the sun, guys. As a tip, you know, you can try to stick it up there, but it won't until it dries a little bit. So while you're waiting for one to dry, you can be preparing another. And this is my third pint of glue doing this. I've used a quart already, and I'm working on the third pint. So maybe I'm using too much. Something else I noticed also is, do you see this? Right there. Focus. I don't know if it's going to focus. Come on, focus. Focus. On that little tab. That's insulation. I didn't do this on the other side, but it's probably a good idea to go right over the top of that, right like that, because this piece is going to fit in there, and then you can wrap it around, and it'll give it the vinyl a little more protection right there. So I didn't think about that. Maybe even just jam the whole thing in there and fold it around. Hey, that's a good idea. I think I'll do that. It's my belief that this does not need to be absolutely perfect. The headliner pieces and the vinyl pieces will wrap around. So basically I'm getting my clamp here wrapped, kind of, and this one over here is, I haven't got it tucked in yet. Again, this stuff has to dry a little bit. So this one here is kind of in several pieces because I just laid this one out like this. I didn't wrap it around, and I think if I wrap it around, when I put this piece in here and wrap that vinyl around there, it'll be less abrasion on it, and I think it'll work much nicer that way. You know, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Take your time and do as nice a job as you can. And it's very difficult because you have to cut everything. You know, they've got it so it's close, but it's not perfect. So best you can is the best I can tell you. So let's clean our hands and let's go look at the headliner. Okay, with your wife's permission, you can lay this out on the living room floor. And Captain Obvious says that is the rear because it doesn't say front. The other one says front. Trust me, on the other side it does say front. This is the side that you will see. And if you notice, another Captain Obvious is they didn't want to pay the extra 29 cents to put it in a longer box to ship it to you. So they cut these pieces here, and Maybe they are cut for a reason, to kind of give it a, I don't know. But this here, if you're worried about wrinkles, and you're working in cold weather, and it's not warm where you can't pull it and stretch it, you can take an old towel and put over the top of it, and then with your wife's permission again, get yourself your iron, and you can iron out all those wrinkles if they bother you. I'm going to iron mine out even though they're warm. Even though it's kind of warm out, I'm still going to run an iron over it and see if I can't get some of the shipping wrinkles out of it. So I'm going to get that done. Use an old towel. Don't use a new one. And monitor your heat, and make sure that you're not going directly on the vinyl, because if you go directly on the vinyl, it will melt. You cannot iron out the seams. It won't iron out. So just work each little part, and I'm just working those little wrinkles right there. Real simple. I have heated this as hot as I dare, and I think that probably if I pull it, it will probably help. Maybe a heat gun. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll have to get it up there and see. Anyways, there's where it says front, and if you notice, halfway between the 36 inches, I put a mark at 18, and that will tell you that that is where the mirror is, the center, very center of the mirror. So you can center this up, and you can do the same with the back as well. And then also I inserted my 5, not 6 like I have, but 5. At least I didn't buy 4. I did buy 6, but I'm going to use 5 because it has 5. So I inserted my 5 here, and then I'm going to take this out and try to stuff this up in the car, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to start at the front, and we'll see what happens. Alright, this ought to prove to be quite humorous. I'm thinking what you're going to need to do first is find the front. That would be the front, so I have it upside down. So it's going to need to go like this. And then, don't know. Let's see, is that front again? That is the rear. See, I told you it'd be humorous. That's going to be front. So I think probably the best thing would be to get these bows up here to hold it in place. So I'm going to shove this up here and see what happens. It's 30 inches too big, looks like. Probably not meant for my car. Tell me these have to be fit too. I don't know. Let's see. Those are big, aren't they? Let's have a look at this. Because that's quite ridiculous. I think these are for some kind of, I don't know what they're for. By God, they're about 12 inches too big. Maybe they're for a bus. You know, here's the deal. I'm going back. Let me go back and check. I've got the receipt. Let me go back and check because why on earth would these be too big if they're meant for the car? What in the hell is going on with this company? Okay, I cut them so they're just sticking out maybe a ½ inch on either side, and put my rubber pieces on. And this section in front, this section in front, if you get up there with a putty knife like this, you can push that cardboard piece so it hooks into the metal, and then you can pull on that like this. And also you can see if you've got it centered reasonably. This is where I got the center. Right here. Let's see. And no, it needs to come over a little bit. So let's pull this whole thing over. Just right there. There you go. Now we can tuck this bow in. Like that. And work right on down the line here. Just like that. There you go. And we can stretch this. This piece here, I believe is going to have to hook into this back in here. We'll be able to stretch that quite a bit. That should be alright. I don't think it goes with this. I know it doesn't. So we can, as we stretch it, we can work these bows back just a little bit. Farther and farther and farther. And then I think we can also let me work on this a little bit more, see if I can't get any farther, and because I think this is going to need to tuck in quite a bit. Kind of. No, let me look at it and see. I'll have to study it some. Like I said, it's the first time I ever did this. Second, excuse me. Okay, you think everything's going to fit perfectly. And it's like almost everything that I've gotten from this company is you have to manipulate it. Excuse me. Now, if our bows are right there, we're not going to be able to pull this any tighter, and we're going to have all these wrinkles. But if I cut about 2 inches on either side of that, I'll have enough room to be able to pull that material and the bow will still be up there. So I'm going to cut 2 inches into my bow loops so I'll have to take this all down, and I'll have to do it just with a pair of scissors, snip, 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 just down the line. And we'll put it back up there and see what happens. Here's what I mean by that. See, that'll allow the bow to stick up there, and it'll allow you to pull this material and it'll tighten that. So just I'm going about 2 inches on either side and see what happens. If I have to go more, I can go more. Okay, if you don't have bows, if Abner Dimwit had thrown all your bows away, cut them first and fit them. The last two are different. They're a little bit more bowed, hence the term bow. So I cut mine about 3 inches bigger than the other ones, and I put a bow in it. And what it's going to do is it's going to help to keep that up there a little bit. Also in the back here, come on, focus. Give me some light. Come on, come on. In the back here, there it is. There's a cardboard piece that shoves in there, and I still had a piece of cardboard in there, so I had to fish it out. And then the cardboard piece tucks up in there, and I just put this little hook up in there, and I kind of pushed it down, and it gets the cardboard hooked around the where it needs to get hooked at, so you can't pull it out. And that way you can't pull out your headliner. So, okay, I'm going to get that bow up in there. Focus. I'm going to get that bow up in there, and we'll try to straighten this out. I'm not going to work front to back. I think I'm going to work center out on either way. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I've started with the second bow, and I started working forward. At first I pulled those back and thought I'd be able to put them underneath there and then tap them back up with a rubber mallet. No, it won't happen. So there's a pleat right here that has to go, and there's a little wrinkle. I just can't figure it out, and I can't get it out of there. I don't quite know. It's that little bump up there. I'll see if I can't fold it a little more, but I can only fold it as far as this clip goes, so yeah, what are you gonna do? Let's see here. Sorry if my head's in the way. Got some terrific music going on next door. Let's see. Take the putty knife and shove it home. Like that. Now don't worry about getting it too tight. It doesn't need to be like a banjo, really. It shouldn't be. I don't think it should be. That's reasonable right there, I think. And see here we've got a little. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I just guess wrap it and best I can. Like that. Tuck that in there. Like that. And this. And you gotta get that in there. Let's see here. I'm not a professional, so you know. So what are you gonna do? So, and I think that ought to work. I'm losing my battery. But since I have a little wrinkle right there, I guess you're not gonna see it. The visor there and such, so. But that's not too bad. Alright, let's change battery and I'll start working on the other side as well. Okay, I put a little cut right here, and I'll be able to fold this like this. And then I can bring this piece and glue it down. Our light's going to fit up there, of course. So we're going to glue this up here, and we're going to cut slots on it like this and wrap it around our quarter and clamp it and glue it and let it set overnight. I couldn't figure out why it didn't have the proper tension, and so I pulled this back out and I rolled it one time and I stuffed it back in so the opposite side of the cardboard was down in there, and I used my putty knife, and then I used my little hook. I know you can't see. Come on, focus. Then I used my little hook to get down in there and push the cardboard along so it would hook into this lip. And now I've got nice tension right here all the way to the front with nary a wrinkle in it. Now I still have some wrinkles here where it was folded into the box, and I'm probably going to hit them with a heat gun. So okay, what I've done here is I've folded this, and I'm going to glue it, and I'm going to pull it, wrap it, and I'm going to put a clamp on that, and I'm going to go down this line like this. If I'm not going to go here, I'm going to go from here. It's highly likely that I will have to, let's see, if I cut it in like this, I can wrap this piece around and then wrap this piece around. I'll probably have to make cuts in order to do that and wrap it around. So, and we should be able to pull a lot of this wrinkle out. But even so, even here, I still have a wrinkle where it was folded in the box. So maybe I can get that with a heat gun, and maybe it won't come out. I don't know. So, you know, best I can do. All right. Okay. If you use a pinch clamp, if you use a clamp to clamp it, what you'll have is you'll have clamp marks all along here, and you'll have wrinkles going all the way through here. So what you want to do is you want to use your quick edge here that comes with your or for your flip out windows. And what that'll do is you can glue the underside of that and glue the pinch weld, and glue the underside of it and glue the pinch weld, and then you can kind of manipulate that and pull it down enough. Now, you can see where our pleats are right here. They're considerably farther than here. Okay, so you want to make your cuts on your bows quite a bit more, and hopefully we'll be able to take those wrinkles out of that with the hair dryer. Now, if you've got a little glue, don't crap your pants, because just use a little general purpose cleaner, and it'll come off. So, but it's better to do it while it's wet than it is to do when it's dry. So it comes off a lot easier. So there you go, and we'll have a look at the outside of this and see how that's flipped right around there like that. And of course we'll cut that off when it dries. If you're in a hurry to do this, walk away. Okay, this is not a hurry unless you want it to look like a treehouse. Okay, if you want it to look like a treehouse and a 3-year-old did it, then by all means do it in a day. But I'm doing mine, just a little at a time. Now, is mine going to be perfect? No, it's not. It's not. So I'm working on this best I can. Remember our cut that we put here. Okay, don't worry about that, because the piece that comes up here and folds over and tucks into here, it's going to come up to here, and we're going to do a little sassafras flip right there.
I think I should have a sassafras flip.
Just like when you're painting, to keep your paint from drying on your brush, if you plan on working more the next day or the next day or the next day, and to keep the glue from drying up on your brush and you having to go out and buy another $2, $3 brush, $2, $3, $2, $3, take the bag that your headliner material came in and cut it up into pieces so that you can stick your, dunk it in some glue and then roll it up in there, and tomorrow when you get to it, it'll be fresh as a daisy. There you go. You're welcome.